Now, this interview was provided by the actor O2, who provided it. And he was like, they wanted $1 million per episode. And I was like, no way. He said, here's the proof. I'm like, you got proof? He's like, yeah, I wouldn't say it for nothing.
Some people should just be happy with who they are and don't say anything. That's where all the conflict came from. You know, so it's just one of those things. So yeah, I do give him credit. He's a paramedic. He saves lives. That's awesome. I mean,
all right.
You know, so I mean, I don't think he's happy with it. That's why you always got to make up. Well, I'm thinking about this.
Look, he going in now, guys. Put your listening ears on because we're about to get into the part where he talks about them wanting $1 million per episode, and it comes up at the 30 mark. But there's a little backstory about who JDF was, and if you've been watching my content when I show where he grew up at. It's word for word, beat for beat, everything you saw in that video of his house, of his childhood pictures that we saw. Pay attention.
Listening to some interviews that you've done recently, and you talked a lot about your brother, and you guys were both fighters and what have you. And in fact, growing up, something about, you know, your family, I guess, like one story about you having to bathe in an outhouse, and it was, and
Yeah. You know, people see, the whole thing is I never came from a house full of money, okay? People see me, and I think that's why I appreciate money so much and respect other people and respect people that don't have money. And I don't care if you have money. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do. If I like you, I like you. And I'm pretty down to earth, and you can come and you talk to me. That's why I never acted like an actor or, you know, and all those guys did. Austin did, and all those guys did. They wanted, you know, they want to strike and $1 million an episode, and I had a family to feed. I couldn't do that kind of stuff, you know.
They wanted to strike. They wanted $1 million per episode. And I couldn't do that because I have a family to feed. Let's run it back.
See, the whole thing is I never came from a house full of money, okay? People see me, and I think that's why I appreciate money so much and respect other people and respect people that don't have money. And I don't care if you have money. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do. If I like you, I like you. And I'm pretty down to earth, and you can come and you talk to me. That's why I never acted like an actor or, you know, and all those guys did. Austin did, and all those guys did. They wanted, you know, they want to strike and $1 million an episode, and I had a family to feed. I couldn't do that kind of stuff.
And, you know, Shaw 84 is right. He probably was exaggerating that they wanted $1 million per episode. But that is an exaggeration that may not be completely accurate. But they definitely wanted more than what Saban was willing to pay. It may not have been $1 million an episode, but it probably was like $20,000 an episode. Because you comparing yourself to people like Seinfeld comes up, and you're looking at Saban and you counting his money and how much the show was making. And I know they started off at like $600 a week or something, which is like $31,000 a year, something like that. I don't know what they got bumped up to for the second season. But they were not happy at all. Sure, it could be some exaggeration, but what do you guys think? How much were they asking for per episode? They never say. They just say it was the offer was a joke. And sometimes people can have a overwhelming sense of entitlement with unrealistic expectations. You're saying, well, this show makes $1 billion. We're doing all the work. We should get 20% of $1 billion. And then Saban was just like, Nope. You know what? You're a pain in my ass.
Money. I don't care if you have money. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do. If I like you, I like you. And I'm pretty down to earth, and you can come and you talk to me. That's why I never acted like an actor or, you know, and all those guys did. Austin did, and all those guys did. They wanted, you know, they want to strike and $1 million an episode, and I had a family to feed. I couldn't do that kind of stuff, you know. But my family, my dad's a trucker. And, you know, when I was about 15 or 16, we lived on 5 acres, which was no electricity. We lived in a commercial mobile home with no carpet. Okay, it was dark. We had no lights. It's 5 acres in the middle of the desert. I mean, when the sun goes down, the sun goes down. So we had a generator to watch TV. When the generator ran out of gas, we didn't have a TV.
That's right, people. My house on 5 acres, and I'm proud.
And then I had a heat-up stove, had to heat up water on a propane tank, like a propane stove to heat hot water, pour it in a 5-gallon bucket of, 5-gallon sparklets water, carry that outside in the freezing cold to an outhouse, shower in an outhouse. These are all real stories. I mean, this is my life. It's not like, I'm making up stories. And, I've lived that kind of life. And then, getting in the school bus, people, making fun, oh yeah, you got an outhouse, and, hearing all the horrible people say things about you not having money and all this other stuff. That's why I think it drove me to be successful. My dad sold the property for a lot of money afterwards and got himself a good house and, all that stuff. So me and my brother were pretty close growing up, in pretty much in the boonies, and we weren't really in the boonies though. That's the problem. Everyone else had houses and carpets and all this, but we just had to do what we had to do. And my dad taught me to I got a job at 13 years old, when I was working at a restaurant out there when I had no electricity, and, I was on the, got the employee of the month. So, I worked at a restaurant in Fontana. I grew up in Fontana. We had property out there, and that's out in the California area. And, so yeah, it was just one of those things that I learned. And I guess I got along with the truckers and the people that didn't have money versus people that had money, because I just didn't like the arrogancies of people and just how they acted and the fakeness of someone, of seeing them, it's good to meet you. And then you hearing everyone has those people. I know everyone listening here has those friends that you're like, I can't believe you backstabbed me. I can't believe you two-faced talked about me. Everyone has them. Gossip scene.
Remember, JDF said that, and I found the video that shows everything that he just said, which I'm gonna show again. We'll go through it.
To be the thing that everyone does. I don't like doing that. I just tell you how it is. That's why I think people sometimes when they hear it, if you're going to have a question for me on AFO or anything like that, I'll tell you how it is. You might not like the answer, but I'm gonna tell you how it is. And my dad taught me that, and it taught me that my word is gold, and no matter how much money you have, you can't buy your word back. So my word is gold, and my word is means everything. So if I tell you, okay, I'm gonna do your interview at 9:00, and I just blow you out and don't call you back for another 2 days, then I don't feel good about myself. I mean, it's just one of those things. I knew I had the interview with a million other things that I got going on right now. I'm standing outside my house right now and, talking on the phone. It's cold out here in Texas. But, I want to make sure that I do what I have to do, and so, I mean, I kind of lived on those 5 acres, and I was excited about getting a house with carpet, and here I was 15 at the time buying a house, and my mom buying a house, and I was, I asked the realtor if the carpet comes with the house. It was one of those things where, it's kind of the life I lived. I didn't live, one of those, people see me and they're like, Mac, I know Jonathan Max, I come from the streets. I was too. I grew up in an all Hispanic town. I grew up in San Gary in the Zeus area out in California. I didn't have an easy life either. Me and my brother didn't have easy lives, but I'm not trying to play the vanilla ice role either, saying, I lived the game.
There goes the outhouse, guys. There you go, right there.
Gangster life, not at all. But we didn't have easy life, I mean, we had hard lives, and I think that's what makes you strong, and that's what makes you drive for success, and the people that have easy lives don't have success stories because there's nothing to talk about that's successful. It's just people that are very successful either, end up in drugs or get themselves in trouble. And, I mean, I struggled to be someone, and that's why I'm happy with who I am, Jason David Frank. It ain't about Power Rangers and all that stuff. I'm happy to do that show too. What other 5-year-old, my little girl Jenna, she thinks I'm a superhero.
Oh.
What other dad can walk around? Yeah, what other dad can walk around and say, hey, I'm a superhero, and a kid looks up to him. I like it. So people that sit there and say, give it up, give what up? I'm not, you think I'm running around the streets in my Power Ranger spandex and doing appearances like that? I'm not. It's just people know me from what show that I'm on. And if it brings back memories for these people and they're like, I remember when I was 6, then let's talk memories. Because that's all we live on, memories and future goals. And if we're not going to live on that, then I'd be embarrassed of what I've done and who I am. I'm not. I've done Power Rangers, love it. Anyone in the world would have took my role. I don't care who you are. Any guy that says, I wouldn't have done that. Yes, you would have. Yes, you would have. You'd be on one of the biggest hit shows in the world. You would have took that show. And then you probably would have been a lot different than I am right now, so whatever.
I was going to just...
All right. There you guys have it. There goes the $1 million per episode. Now, I'm sure y'all going to say it's an exaggeration. I know. It was an exaggeration. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. Who knows? I don't know. I wasn't there. But all I do know is they never said in their video how much they were asking for, how much they were offered, or how much they wanted. I was writing, I was cooking, guys. Some wish they had the road. When they had a glimpse via the Gold Ranger, they wanted the success of JDF. They wanted to be held in his light. And for a split second, as I said before, ASJ was in that light. He was as popular, if not more popular, than JDF. But his ego got the best of him. The people around him got the best of him. He took the scraps, the forgotten people, the people JDF fired, and hired them to work for him, thinking that they would bring him the same amount of success that Jason had. And temporarily, it did. Because he was new. He was the new kid on the block for once. He was the new guy on the Comic-Con scene. And he was making money over money.
I got money.
Weekend after weekend. But what happened, there's a reason that JDF fired them. It's something that he saw. He had the foresight to see that, these are not the people who are going to take me to where I need to be. I need to hire someone like Francis who's going to work hard for me, and we're going to have a partnership, and she's going to elevate me to the next level. Whereas these people that I fired, one guy wished my death upon me. Some other woman is talking ish behind my back. You got Walter shaking me down. This validated his decision to remove those people from his circle. And as Austin would grab him thinking he's going to recapture that success, all they did was leech off him for momentarily and then pull his ass back down to reality, right down to the depths. And that's where he will forever be, even getting haunted by JDF from beyond the grave, exposing him, not for just, all his fighting antics, but for, hey, obviously you may not want $1 million per episode, but you wanted a lot. So sure, $1 million may be an exaggeration, but what JDF was saying, they wanted a lot. For what? What were they putting out? And in the end, we see how the cookie crumbled. People are regretting the decision that they made. They followed them. And where are they at now? They on FanWork charging HBO Max prices for giveaways and shit. Ring the bell on them. It's done so.
The party didn't end there. Look at that. I'm even wearing red. And I'm thinking, what's going on? My mom loved her kitchen. Look at that. That's a happy girl right there. Guys, we might have not had all the money, but we had family. And I tell you what, that's a happy looking face. All right, fine. You're going to talk about those slippers? Aunt Trudy made it. I love them, and they kept my feet warm. See that smile? Cheese. Even with my dog busy,